me up, I want to be live where I swear, not easy. I've been rapping my own man and getting the market was doing, I'm breaking the profit. On my way, people calling me names, all the trouble I see, I ain't do at the peace. When they're suffering, those sources I can't pay the code, only how I get paid. Sooner or later, my hustle pay. Never pay, and I'm rushing myself. Keep it cool, everything have a CC. Too much rushing, I probably chasing. One day. One day. I'll get it cool. One day.
I know my hustle gonna pay one day. Enemies they're gonna see my face. Me pa know and I watching it. One day, success gonna come my way. I know my hustle gonna pay one day. Enemies they're gonna see my face. Me pa know and I watching it. One day, success gonna come my way. Yeah. My mama was so worried. My papa was so worried. My friend was your money. Any mess that will come on and miss. So I on my way. 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 I'm on my way to this person. I'm looking for money. Looking for money, oh. Looking for money. I want to make mama happy. Want to make papa happy. Want to make my brothers and sisters to come around me.
Yeah. Biblical, why you know you hustle? Why saying the book by the Genesis? Shall come into fire, shall come into power. I feel never be working on Wednesday. In my love for the mind, in my love for the mouth. All in the dark, all in the dark, all in the week, all in the week. All in the sun, the
mama was so worried. My papa was so worried. My friend was your money. Any mess that will come on and miss. So I on my way. 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 I on my way.
Amando, you are a famous star now.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to Attorney Commander J.R. Glapohkpa Chesson talk show. It's 70 plus degrees in Providence, Rhode Island this morning as we anticipate rising up to 93 degrees today. It's going to be hot, humid. Take heed, govern yourselves. They're going to be checking people at some beach today, the first 100 people for skin cancer. So check the news, find out where that's going to be. If you're going to be the first 100 people out there to get the skin tested, more power to you. But it's hazy and partly foggy in Rhode Island. You know, wherever you have this high heat and humidity, the next day you have all that hazy fog, like visibility. So that's what's going on this morning. But it's going to be clearing out and the sun is going to be coming out. My topic for this morning in a few minutes concerns what is happening in our country today. Changing Liberia's laws to remove and punish patriots. Is George Weah above the laws of the Republic of Liberia? That's a question we're going to determine today when I get back.
The health sector is in crisis. The masses of the people are dying for curable diseases. 5 years along the line, they are reducing the budget of the health sector. In this year's budgetary appropriation, the health sector has received reduction of budgetary appropriation. The masses of the people are neglected and abandoned. 5 years along the line, the education sector is in tatters. 5 years along the line, the University of Liberia is in feculence. 5 years along the line, Federal Liberia. 5 years along the line, the 19,736 employees of the education sector of the Republic are subjected to 92 million, while the final ministry of 920 staffers have experienced astronomical budgetary increment from 60 million to 152 million.
Yo! 5 years government has failed us. Yo! Yo! Say enough is enough. Yo! Yo!
5 years along the line, more than 16,000 students at the University of Liberia, 1,759 employees at the University of Liberia continue to be subjected to 17 million. While the President of the Republic of Liberia, a single individual budget is increasing from 2 million to 5 million. 5 years along the line, there is nothing called happiness in the Republic of Liberia.
Of the state. Yo!
5 years along the line, the legacy is corruption. If it is not 16 billion, it is 25 million. If it is not 25 million, it's the abuse of the 24.8 million intended for the national reform. And we are disappointed in the national legislature that they can come here and conspire against the Liberian people to backdate an agreement, while the element Minister Weah was caught in the GSC report, but the elements here do not have the balls to bring that monster criminal to tax and subject him beyond the rusty bar. So 5 years along the line, We have come to inform the Liberian people, we have come to inform the National Legislature that on July 26th, the Student Unification Party will boycott the July 26th and organize the masses of the Liberian people in the street to protest in demand of structural repair in their conditions and in demand of fixing the country because the country is not at the service of the Liberian people. In this life, fellow Liberians and fellow students, we will turn over to the Secretary General of the Student Unification Party. We will present the Chairman of the Student Unification Party. To present the petition of the Student Unification Party. We will legitimize the position of the Student Unification Party. Because we are about to take the masses of the people. Viva, social justice, academic freedom, viva! Where do? Comrades and friends, fellow Liberians, members of the Liberian Senate, fellow press men and women, from the inner sanctum of the Student Unification Party, we convey to you our fraternal greetings. And today we've come not just to demonstrate our dismay, not just to demonstrate our disappointment in the way the affairs of the Liberian society have been run for the last 5 years under the Weah stewardship, but we've come to say to the legislature as well that giving responsibility by the mass of the Liberian people to come here and to represent them means that you have to work in the best interest of the people by performing laws and policies that will improve their well-being or their welfare. But the last 5 years have been different. So a few days ago, by member of the 31st Central Committee and Politburo of the Student Unification Party, the chairman of the Student Unification Party gave a position statement on the issue of independence celebration this year. And we are very emphatic and unequivocal. There is nothing worth celebration or nothing worth to be celebrated this year independence. And there's not just the first time of the Student Unification Party for those of you who want to ask. 2018, we boycotted independence celebration because the president refused to declare his asset. And here we are again. 5 years down the line, the hallmark of governance in the society is corruption. Mendacity and plundering of the state resources at the disadvantage of the mass of the Liberian people who suffer the heft of poverty in this country. So it is against the backdrop that we've come here today to decisively address the issue of corruption precisely at Legix. A few weeks ago, the AICC submitted the final report of the investigation of corruption saga at Legix, the Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Sewer, and the list go on. But it was amazing to note that since then, the president of this country was heard on a local radio decisively defending corruption. And the Minister of Justice or the Ministry of Justice has done nothing to prosecute those who have been indicted by the AICC. So today we've come as part of our campaign launch a few days ago to face this country. Facing this country is facing a legislature that will do the business of the Liberian people. Facing this country means you have to deal decisively with the issue of corruption and bad governance. Well, 5 years down the line, State Department report on this country has been very wrong and it has been tragic. The issue of human rights, corruption, rule of law, everything, Liberia is lagging behind. So as an institution bestowed with the spirit to struggle for the dignity of our people by our history, we are here today to give a position statement on the corruption saga at Legix. Professor Francis Weah is Lieutenant General or Director General in Wilma Smith and that of Lawrence George. They were caught in a cobweb of corruption and nothing is being done. So we've come to implore the Liberian Senate that you have to pressure the Ministry of Justice to ensure that these people account for everything they've done against the interests of the society.
So at this point, before we usher in the chairman, you must understand that on the 26th, we are clear with this message that we'll boycott independence and we'll be having a mass protest rally. We've talked to the security authority presiding the Ministry of Justice and showing us security. They are yet to say anything. It is our constitutional right inscribed in Article 1, Article 15, and Article 17 of the Constitution of this society. And as part of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, we've got right to assembly, expression, and freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, comrades. So today we've come here to let you know that on the 26th, peacefully, the Student Unification Party, under the able leadership of Chairman Mustafa Kane, will commandeer the people of Liberia into action. Oh yes, this regime promised that they will have brought people to justice. Implementation of the TRC report. 5 years down the line, they are supporting those who committed heinous atrocity against the masses of the Liberian people. Those who plunder the state resources, those who kill our people in the society must not be seen as people who can commit wrong against our people and can go scot-free. So this government needs to implement the issue of World Economic Crimes Court in the society. So at this point, we just wanted you to know that on the 26th, the Student Unification Party will be in a protest endeavor. And that if anything is to go wrong, the Liberian state under the stewardship of George Weah is to be held responsible. You cannot have the university in tatters. You cannot have the economy failed. The economy has failed massively. They said a running country. Hey, 5 years down the line, you cannot account for a single foreign direct investment. 5 years down the line, unemployment is swelling. 5 years down the line, decadence, despair, and disdain are the imagery of the masses of the Liberian people. 5 years down the line,
they are bastard that economy.
And Princess Cooper will die. No good investigation.
Political autopsy report.
This is the state of the affairs under the Weah administration. So at this point, we usher in the chairman of the 31st Central Committee, the 31st Politburo of the Abroad Long Surviving Yes Progressive Institution, an institution that play a pivotal role in the democratization of this space called Liberia. This democracy that we have was won on the tears and sweat and the blood of some of the brightest and noblest of our comrades. We want to make this clear that those who are here bastardizing the democracy, they have no intent or they know nothing of history of this society. This democracy was won on the struggle of the Student Unification Party. It is our responsibility to protect the democracy. And as part of protecting the democracy, we've come to agitate for good governance. And dealing with good governance, it means that you should deal decisively with the menace in corruption. So at this point, we usher in the chairman of the Student Unification Party, Chairman Mustafa Kane, who will read the petition statement of the Student Unification Party.
They are politicizing our education.
The story of life. That's why I'm a freedom fighter.
Vanguard Student Unification Party. University of Liberia, Monrovia, Liberia, Republic of Liberia. The Honorable House of Senate, under the capable leadership, great leadership of our chief. Sub petitions in the Liberian Senate for the application of justice against corruption of individuals alleges. Comrades and friends, brothers and sisters in the struggle for final liberation, striving militants and other logs, whose struggle is to overturn systemic backwardness, revere cadres and patriots, as well as veterans of the indomitable ruling Vanguard Student Unification Party. We bring you warm fraternal revolutionary greetings from the Central Committee and Politburo of the all-powerful Vanguard Student Unification Party. And hereby petitions the Liberian Senate on the matter of the corruption saga alleges and a subsequent report by the LSCC recommending prosecution of the Director General and his 2 deputies, amongst others. It is urgent and important that the Senate be informed that on July 7, 2022 AD, the indomitable Vanguard Unification Party held a second press conference calling on President George Weah to man up to the unquestionable findings and judicial recommendation in the LSCC report. Amongst other things, the Vanguard Party called for the immediate prosecution of latest boss, Professor Fraser Ryan, and his 2 comrades in crime, Raymond S. Smith Jr. and George and Lawrence A. George Sr., both of whom are Deputy Directors for Information and Coordination and Deputy Director for Administration, respectively. SUP was unequivocally clear that the position of the President not to suspend or dismiss with immediate effect these 2 criminals, as well as awaiting prosecution at the Ministry of Justice, is a death sentence to the Liberian people. During that event, we announced clearly our emphatic caveat that after 7 days of no action, she will unleash the titanic wave of unspecified revolutionary action through the mandate of the military salute of the Vanguard Unification Party. Having observed the elapse of said period, an ultimatum with careless, bourgeois, cemetery, not listening to the plan of the Liberian people, as well as President Weah pretending not to take action by dismissing these criminals, we have begun our revolutionary unspecified action by starting with petitioning the Liberian Senate and other international partners to caution Mr. Weah and the Ministry of Justice to act responsibly and act judiciously, or else the Vanguard Unification Party in the coming day will be level no action, but to unleash revolutionary action in revolutionary form and manner. Holding our position constant with undiluted expression, the Vanguard Party is calling on the Liberian Senate to pressure President Weah and Minister Dean to urgently proceed to court with these thieves who are available that have taken the Liberian people money. SUP is disappointed that after almost a month of publication and final submission of the LSCC report to the Ministry of Justice, absolutely nothing has been done. Therefore, the Vanguard Party is petitioning the Senate to call on the Ministry of Justice, which is the only hope for dispensing justice against criminals and accused individuals who stand up to its statutory responsibility. SUP is calling on the Senate to pressure the President, as well as the Ministry of Justice, not to see anyone already caught in the web of corruption or reported or stealing the census money. Prosecuting these corrupt individuals does not only sustain the system accountability and transparency, it also promotes justice, good governance, and prosperity in the country. Therefore, we are calling on the Senate not to turn blind eye to the fight against corruption by pressuring President Weah and the Ministry of Justice to prosecute these people who are caught in the cold web of corruption. The Vanguard Student Unification Party believe the Senate's silence on this matter is validating the current ongoing funneling of the remaining census resources by these criminals. and is acting as alibi in helping these criminals to continue to loot the state funds of the Liberian people. The Senate must make the Minister and the Ministry of Justice to see these assumptions as a flagrant disrespect and disregard to its authority and mandate. When people begin to see the Ministry of Justice as a toothless bulldog, worth only its name and nothing more, they gave the largest international partner in Liberian society the near impression or reality that the nation is vulnerable and exposed to corruption and impunity. To avoid this and other misconceptions, the Vanguard Unification Party is urging the Senate through this petition to stand up now or expose the nation and this government to uncontrollable plundering of state resources, taxpayer money, and donors' money without punishment even being cut pens down. To this end, and if the ministry fails to act after the stipulated time of our petition, it must be noted that the indefatigable Vanguard Unification Party will be left with no other alternative but to effect an effective citizen arrest and aforementioned of aforementioned corrupt individuals. Comrades, I repeat, with the stipulated time given to the Senate, if action is not taken, the Revolutionary Vanguard Unification Party through revolutionary action will be left with no other alternative but to issue citizen arrest on the aforementioned individuals who are caught in the act of corruption. We consider these individuals as the prime reason why our constitution is being bastardized and disrespected, in line with the 10 years censor clause. And since criminal facilitator Samuel D. Twett, who is the board chair, care less about what to do, so believe a thorough citizen action against him, as well as imperative against those caught after the deadline, will be issued in line with the mandate of the Central Committee and Board of the Vanguard Unification Party. We shall ensure and pursue wherever these criminals appear, they shall be arrested by the citizen. It will be the best way forward if the Senate refuses to give redress to our petition. Done on this 21st day of July 18, 2022, in the city of Monrovia by the Meditan Power Salute, by the mandate of the ever-potent Vanguard Unification Party. Signed, Comrade Adolord Jusu Kamara, Secretary General of the Vanguard Unification Party. Approved, Chairman Mustafa Kane, Chairman of the Vanguard Party.
On behalf of the Liberian Senate, standing here with me to receive the petition from SUP, are Senator Jonathan Segwe from River G, Senator Commander Wisset from River G, Senator Yonkitana Lawrence of Grand Bassa County. We want to applaud you for using your constitutional right to come here peacefully to present your petition. This petition will be forwarded to the Liberian Senate for deliberation and further action. Thank you.
Manda! Long live the Vanguard Unification Party! Long live! Steve, face the country! Stop 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 Steve, face the country! Face the country!
So yeah, it's where we are today in the West African Republic of Liberia. And my topic today emanates from what you see is happening here today. Changing Liberia's laws to remove and punish patriots. Is George Weah above the laws of the Republic of Liberia? In the Providence, in the front page African newspaper is the article of the Liberian legislature trying to amend the anti-corruption laws of Liberia because the commissioner, Mr. Martin, what's his name? Mr. Chairman, Councillor Edwin Clark Martin released a report to the Republic of Liberia sometime last week, a week before last, reporting of the investigation of the Anti-Corruption Commission on the Agriculture Minister, the and Governance Board, and people and other people in our country for rampant corruption and stealing. Now, when George Weah took his cabinet to that Babadi retreat, that criminal retreat they had in Nima County, and Mr. Edwin Clark Martin gave his 5-minute report, as all the government officials were supposed to do, the newspaper said that they kept him standing up for 2 hours, bombarding him with questions from the criminal government official of Liberia, Weah, and McGee, and all the legislators who are pro-Weah people. All of them were assaulting this man for over 2 hours. Now we come to hear that the Liberian legislature is reviewing an amendment to the anti-corruption laws to remove Mr. Martin by making his position obsolete and creating positions that they have to reapply for after they have been removed because of the change of the law. Now, this is the kind of rampant stealing that demonstrates further that the legislature of the Republic of Liberia are all criminals and need to go to jail. All these people are criminals. The first thing is they're stealing foreign money through contractual agreement that they are fraudulent with. Our legislators are fraudsters. They are rogues and criminals on the international scale. They have no investors coming to our country. They cannot raise no money to pay salaries. So they're going around to the international community now, altering contracts that have already been signed, giving rights to people. Then they're coming in the back and backstabbing them and cheating the contracts and taking money from other people and giving them rights that they have already signed over to other people, other corporations. This is massive stealing and a disgrace to the Republic of Liberia and the citizens of our nation. It's a disgrace to me. And I got to speak up about it because our government has gone down to being nothing but petty criminals and useless baboons. They need to be reeled in and put into jail. And I support the Student Unification Party of the Republic of Liberia and their endeavors to strike on July 26th to ensure that law and order, civility, and peace is restored to the West African Republic of Liberia. That these criminals led by George Weah are brought to justice. But who's going to bring George Weah to justice? George Weah is the biggest criminal in our society, and he must be brought to justice. He's the biggest slumlord of all of them. He must be brought to justice. We cannot go on like this with people disgracing our country and bringing us down to animals. Animals. Enough is enough. Now, can you imagine? We are telling the man, the commissioner of the Anti-Corruption Commissioner, that before he releases his investigative report to the Republic, he must give it to George Weah to read. Oh, idiot. George Weah can't even talk. He can't even read. When you do a report that deals with intricate words and complex situations, you can't read, you can't write, you can't talk. What the hell you going to do with a report? Use it for toilet paper? These people have brought our country down to shame and disgrace. And we have to rise up and take our country back from these people because it is the demand of the 1980 revolution that our people were killed for. We died to change our country. And we cannot let the deaths be in vain. These criminals leading our country, these vagabonds and bastards leading our country must be brought to jail and investigative reporting. must be done to bring them to justice. Justice cannot evade the Republic of Liberia and the citizens of the West African Republic of Liberia. Rise, my patriots, rise! It's time to take our country back from these vagabonds and slum lords and warlords and idiots. Rise, my people, rise! The time of patriots of the Republic of Liberia is now. Aluta continua. We can't go on. We can't go on, man. The agriculture minister are rogue. The water and sewer people rogue. The people at our census bureau rogues. The president rogue. Minister of finance rogue. Legislators rogue. Then the biggest rogue of all of them, Vani Sherman, he's the one telling us that they're amending the laws to squeeze out the anti-corruption commissioners because they made a report to the public about corruption in the country that George Weah did not agree to. And he going on the air trying to defend these corrupt people. Rise, my people. We can't take this no more. Rise. Enough is enough. Let's bring this government down. Let's remove it. No election. We can't go on with election. Our country is too corrupt. Our country is too backwards. The more we go forward, we are changing our country. We are rectifying the mistakes that have already been made. Our country will die. Walker cannot change Liberia. Cummings cannot change Liberia. Only Attorney Commander Glapohkpa Chesson will take the right and positive measure to change Liberia. And you people who know me know I ain't no joke. I ain't no joke. It's going to happen. Leave it to me and see Liberia change in 5 years. The time of the Liberian people in our 1980 revolution to be revived is now. Aluta continua. Rise, rise, rise. Patriots of the great Liberian nation. Don't let these dummies, warlords, slum lords, criminal bastards lead our country down the shit too. Rise up, patriots. Rise up, patriots. Rise up, patriots. The time of the Liberian people is now. Aluta continua. My class is done. See you tomorrow morning.